Episode number 2. Trial or Judge Magi. Eastern countries of Islam under Tatars. The Tatars first cut the brick of Bukhara and dusted it completely. None of the inhabitants of the city survived. Then they turned the dust of Samarkand black and took the entire population, down to the pits of destruction. This is what happened to the Grammy cities of Hashar al-Islam, Ray, Hamdan, Zanjan, Quzuen, Muru, Nishapur, Khurizm Shah, the sole ruler and most powerful sultan of the Islamic world, fled for fear of the Tatars, and the Tatars pursued him. He even made it to an unknown island. Khurizm Shah had integrated the Islamic states and sovereign governments of Iran and Turkey into his kingdom. So when he defeated the Tatars, he had no rival in the east. The Tatars and the Muslims were terrified that sometimes a Tatar would infiltrate a street where there were 100 Muslims, but no one had the courage to compete, and he would kill everyone one by one, and no one would reach out. Then a prisoner who was with him realized that it was a woman, so he killed her. Sometimes Tatar would arrest a Muslim and say to him, "Put your head on this stone. I will bring a dagger and slaughter you." The Muslim fell down and did not dare to flee until he brought a dagger from the city and slaughtered it. The Tatari was a great call to the world of Islam that shook the hearts of the world of Islam. The Muslims were ambiguous. The world of Harit and Yas was spread from one end to the other. The Tataris were considered a shameless caste, impossible to resist and unpredictable. And then they shall be destroyed, and they shall be destroyed. If you are told that the Tatars have been defeated somewhere, do not believe them. To the countries or cities to which they had turned, they were considered to have reached their destiny. Life and wealth, honor and dignity, mosques and schools were not good for anyone. Turning to the Tatars was like ruin, massacre, humiliation, and disgrace. Almost the entire world of Islam, especially its eastern part, once found itself in the grip of Sus. The historian reads and writes all kinds of events. So many scenes of the destruction of nations and countries that his nature becomes numb and his pen becomes numb. But when mentioning this event, a historian like Ibn Ashur, who wrote the history of the world with great patience, could not hide his heart condition and impression. He writes, "This accident is so terrible and disgusting that I have been in the background for many years, whether to mention it or not, and I am still mentioning it with great eloquence. If I had not been born, if I had died before this, and had been forgotten, but some friends persuaded me to write about this event. Yet I was reluctant, but I saw that there was no point in not writing. This is the greatest accident and misery that cannot be found in the history of the world. If anyone claims that such an event has not happened in the world since Adam, then he is not a false claim, because there is no passing of such an event in the history, and the world may never see such an event until the day of resurrection, except Yajuj and Majuj. They killed women, men, and children, and killed women, and killed women, and killed women, and killed women, and killed women. Not only was the world of Islam, but the entire civilized world of that time was a wasteland shaken by the invasion of the Tatars. Terror spread even where they had little chance of reaching it." Gibbon writes in his famous book, History of the Decay of Rome, "When the Swedes heard the news of Hurricane Tatar from Russia, they were so terrified that they did not go out to hunt the English Swahili as usual." The authors of the medieval history of Cambridge describe this fierce clash of the Mughals, which was triggered by Genghis Khan, with great eloquence. It was beyond man's power to stop the Mughals. They overcame all the dangers of the desert: mountains, seas, severe weather, droughts, plagues. No one could resist them. They were not afraid of any dangers. No fortress could resist their attack, and the cry of an oppressor for mercy did not affect them. Here in the field of history, there is a connection with a new power. This power and force was the one that decided many national and political matters in the eyes of Zedon and erased them as the heavens fell to the earth and erased everything. There were also political issues that, if disaster had not occurred, they would not have been resolved by going forward or by someone else, and if they continued, they would never have ended. The emergence of this new force in the history of the world, that is, the ability of a single person to change the civilization of mankind, began with Chinggis Khan and ended with his grandson Belagh Khan, during whose time the Mughals began to show signs of division and division by the Salem and Basset empires. Such a force still did not appear on the screen of the world. It continues